Hi baby dolls, I want to give you a very quick pDAI update. There is a post he made from one of the PulseChain devs, so it's Brett, right? And he quotes Richard Hart's tweet about pDAI and minting pDAI and stuff out here, right? So it's just interesting information. The supply on the pDAI launch was 6 billion, but the supply now is 25 billion. And then it grew another 500 million. No deflation, just expansion. That's not sound economics. So if you just read that, okay, you get spun. I'm going to share you this post from Mr. PulseDaiWin, which is going to go through it as well. This is the pDAI price chart right here. Remember, friends, this pDAI price chart, it's not outside of the PulseChain system. It's linked to PLS. If you look at the pDAI to PLS ratio, you can see it right here. You see this? See the big circles over time? The big circles are actually major drops. There's actually a giant one down here that I just want to show you. See this? These circles? These are like giant capitulation areas of just rinsing sideways and like figuring out what the market wants to do. I mean, look what it's done before, man. It's done a 94% drop. This is against Pulse, by the way, and Pulse is weak, so it's even heavier. This is a 77% drop. This one was obviously a world level, world elite biblical shakeout. 94% drop again. That's actually, it's kind of funny actually. That was the USD price dropped 98%. But why? I mean, the FUD's intense. You have the founder of the chain saying, stop buying it. Saying, Vietnamese kid, big fat dong. Scam long dong, you've taken over my chain. He's actually, whoever controls the Twitter account, even though the bio says he doesn't use Twitter, okay, is literally saying that. So if you took the other side of that, you deserve the upside because you're like, how rare is that, right? The founder saying it's trash. You don't get these opportunities often, almost never. So this is the pDAI pulse ratio. And if pulse itself goes up over time, everything gets dragged up. Now, I want to show you this post from my friend, Mr. PulseDaiWin. So he's replying to Brett right here. By the way, friends, I want to tell you as well, right? Talking about like sound economics, okay? Just to tell you something. Now, friends, I'm under the impression that Brett, Richard, they are aware of the PulseChain pioneers. I think it is in, friends, okay. Imagine, okay, you got a fridge. Most people have a fridge, yeah? If you're lucky in this world, you have a fridge. Imagine you bought a fridge full of groceries, okay? Spent like $300. And then you didn't notice that someone has been eating like a third of your groceries when you're not at home. Imagine that. How? And imagine you're like, oh yeah, cool. Like that's so weird. Like I bought 3 boxes of strawberries, put them in the fridge. There's only 2. And it like happens every week for a year and a half. And you like never question it. You see how unlikely that is? You're like, man, who's eating my strawberries? Who's eating my strawberries? Okay, that's what's been happening on PulseChain. Minting P tokens and stuff out here. So also on top of that, incentive token used to have 1 million supply. Now it's got 55 million. So in a year or something, its inflation went up 5,400% since the launch. Okay, so what I'm getting at as well is in the old world, friends, Richard 1.0 was you have to buy a finished product. The product is done. It works. We're done. We move on. Okay, we don't live in that world anymore. We live in the 2.0 world. Okay, also speaking to somebody smart in the telegrams, Mr. Kyle was talking about the gaming industry. Mr. Kyle was alerting me. It's actually true. The gaming industry, friends, you know, the gaming industry, if you tried to make your customers pay for like extra swords and expansion, they'll give you 1 out of 10. They don't care. Now, they require that. The gaming industry, now they have an option where you don't have 40 hours a week to grind it out. Now you just buy this like magical sword, you level up faster, and you're done in like, 90 minutes. And if you want to take the free route, you can, but man, it just takes time. It's just a time sink. Okay, so everything's moving like that. Where the game's not even finished, there's a pay to play. It's upgrading over time. It's reacting to people. Okay, it's a different world now, man. It's different, friends. Right? It's reacting to people. You know, maybe even one day we'll have movies generated by AI where you're watching a movie and the movie changes the scene based off how you react. Right? Like if we'll probably have movies one day. Like, you know, never know, like 10 years where you're sitting in a chair, it can read your heart rate and you're watching. And if you're starting to get a bit anxious, okay, it knows the right level of horror to make the movie and render you, right? Or if you're not laughing, yeah, it tries to probably program and mathematically code out something that tries to make you laugh. Wouldn't that be cool? But right now with games, we're already seeing that. What I'm going to do now is we'll play some Cranky G music.
Footsteps on the dance floor reminds me, baby, of you.
So we live in this world, friends, where, yeah, games and expansion packs, it's also in crypto. I mean, like, even think of this, right? Is PulseChain finished? No. Yeah. It's like, there's cities, yeah? Is a city ever finished? No. You could go live in the city. You could go press pause on a city, no, but more buildings come. Things have to get renovated. There's people who emigrate out. People pass away. New people come in. You grow more orange juice trees. Plenty of oranges for everyone, right? You get it? What about PulseX? Well, PulseX doesn't have more coins, but it's deflationary. But PulseX's yield farms and stuff toggle. Yeah. Also, PulseX's buy and burn. That was interesting. We had a V1 and a V2. There could be a V3 one day. You don't know. You don't know, right? You don't know. Interesting. Also, the tokens that are within the city that are buying and burning, they're changing like every month because there's a new high volume activity thing. What about, say, Ink? Okay, there's toggling of the yield rates. You get it? So this is not foreign to anybody. What about Ethereum as well? Ethereum, if it gets upgraded, Ethereum is the testnet for PulseChain. Good talking point, right? Richard Hart. You see what I mean? So we now live in this world. Yeah, we don't want to live in that world. We want to live in a world where we just get to buy one thing, it's over, and it wins for us. Yeah, but we don't live in that world. So I've given you this context now. So Mr. PulseDaiWin, okay? The pDAI starting position is clearly bullish. We are facing a structural shift. The debt ceiling has been consistently above 25 billion for months, stable since at least December. Although 411 million pDAI was in surplus and 1.2 billion was in the Joy account, meaning a total 1.6 was hidden in the VAT, this very cushion has now melted away. The surplus is at 0, the Joy at 187 million. You remember, friends, everyone's watching that Joy number on one of those Pulse Maker. So I think when the Joy gets down, I think the auction phase begins. I think there's a lot of stuff moving on. Look at this. The bottom line is about 100 billion, 1 billion pDAI has moved from the VAT into the circulating supply without the debt ceiling having given way even a millimeter. That's not a sign of weakness. This is a buildup of structural tension. The decisive trigger is imminent. Deflation will only set in when the flop auctions begin. And what's missing from Brett's analysis is the true extent of this deficit. So we're talking about this. So interesting. So it's like working as intended is exactly what we've been saying. Right. Remember, friends, all of this will only make sense if you understand cypherpunks, if you understand early Bitcoin, if you understand Nikolai's dead, the guy who co-founded MakerDAO, if you understand that the world needs a decentralized native stablecoin with more than $6 of liquidity, okay, you start, if you look at it from that lens, it makes sense, yeah? If you don't look at it from that lens, it looks like another Fugazi Ponzi that you give no value to because, like, friends, you're literally, okay, you're in the 1300s, right? And I've just teleported you to today, and your brain is trying to understand what an iPhone is, right? You can't comprehend it. Yeah, like you all you've seen is horses, okay? And I put you in a rocket ship, okay? Hey, your brain, you're like, man, this is a really big horse cart That's what happens, you know. The fans, you know, the UFOs, when they were spying on, not spying, they were watching, spying. When they were watching the Romans fight wars, some of the scribes of the Romans, they said would watch, they'd call them Roman shields because they didn't have another word for them. They go, oh, the Roman shields are watching us again. They just like Roman shields just appear of us. Then they go into the water. So they come out of the water, they're looking at the little one, everyone's just tinkering around. They go, no, Spoonie, get him. Scam Long Dong. Doesn't exist yet, but Scam Long Dong, go Spoonie. You know, everyone's battling out. They're just looking at these, they call them Roman shields, right? It's interesting, right? Roman shield UFO. I'll just show you. Like, it's interesting perception, right? You're like, ha. They're like, what on earth is this? Just a Roman shield? Because they have no other word for it. See? A strange account from Plutarch. Now you're like, oh yeah, of course it's a Roman shield. Yeah, but that's as well. Oh, what's a Bitcoin? Oh, of course it's a decentralized store of value network that you access on the internet. Duh. You didn't know that at the start, bro. It had no word. It was like this weird honey badger that doesn't give a shit type of thing, like, you know? So, Mr. PulseChain Dev continues. The decisive trigger is imminent, right? He talks about the deflation only setting in when the flop auctions begin. We're talking about 1.3 billion pDAI on Pulse in excess of the system, according to P Maker himself. Once this deficit is reduced to zero through the flops, the total pDAI supply will drop by approximately 1 billion. This would be a massive supply squeeze directly from the heart of monetization. And that's precisely this mechanism that's being underestimated here. Brett shows the surface, but the real picture is in the accounting. The market is facing a deflationary squeeze, and that's bullish for pDAI. Mr. PulseChain Dev, thank you very much for taking the time as well to make these text bold. I did enjoy that, sir. May your orange juice cups be very full and cold. 3 ice cubes, sir. Maybe even 5 if you're lucky. Now, so everyone's going to be betting on a narrative. We get it. Yeah. But it wouldn't be out of the world to imagine where 1 billion pDAI goes away and the price is back to like 1 cent. And that's the next narrative. The next narrative, like that, you know what I mean? My friends, narratives are just fugazi, bro. We just make them up. We literally just make them up. Everyone just makes it. Just like, there's 5 red monthly candles on Ethereum right now in a row. There's only bad, horrific things going on, okay? When you get 5 green ones, there's actually the top of every alt season. Funny enough, 5 green in a row. So, perhaps we could like speculate, right? As we do, if the price of pDAI went up, maybe that next phase is there's like 1 billion less pDAI and it's like near 1 cent now. And I'm making, hey, you said it was inflationary. You were wrong. It's deflationary. There used to be 26 billion. Now there's 25 billion, right? There's 1 billion less. So that just introduces it. But here's the thing, right? Because the price is higher, some people say, oh, wait a minute. 1 cent is 100x away to $1. I might punt on that. So some people enter that world. Other people will say, no, I want to see the supply less than 10 billion. It's the same thing, friends. It's the same thing as crypto and Bitcoin and everything else, right? People just have prices made up in their mind and views where they're just never going to get into anything because of whatever reason. That's just it, right? And the price usually goes high enough to squeeze everyone in. That's usually what happens in these. So I hope you enjoy that, friends. You just get to see, like, that might be the next thing. And like, hey, but you said it was infinite minting. Okay, then the inflation stopped. Then you said it was continuously infinite minting. Then we lost 1 billion pDAI. Deflation, okay? Okay, what if it goes from 25 billion? What if in a few months it's down to 20 billion? Right? So, but then people will say, oh, that still doesn't cover all the collateral needed right now. See what I mean? So, but the price will just adjust higher over time. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, friends. Hope you enjoyed that. Let's give you an update of this stuff going back and forth. It's a believer cycle, yeah? Nipples are remaining pegged, okay? It literally, friends, there's no other way to get around it. It's a believer cycle. At any point, someone can come and just blow shit up. They can, yeah, they can. At any point, friends, someone can press the red button from America and come and nuke your city. They could. It's just, if you're going to believe in a better tomorrow, that's riding a bull in a bull market, okay? Yeehaw! Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you in the next one.